If you don't have nobody in your life that's willing to go that hard in the paint and keep worrying the shit out of the people that they think can get to you with email, text, leaving a voicemail out loud on the old school answering machine, then you need to check your crew. She said, I gotta see your mom. I don't wanna talk to her no more. I don't wanna talk to you no more. I gotta see her. And I was like, okay, well. She said, and all of us wanna see her. Betty and the other two. These women were still working, running half of the Eastern Seaboard. And she said, you tell me when you can get your mama to DC and I'll get everybody else ready. I was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm walking down this, feeling like I'm in the White House. All of a sudden, all I hear is, that's not what happened. Y'all, they are kikiing and laughing so hard, I hear them down the hall. I turn the knob to go in the room. My mama is laughing and wiping her mouth with the linen cloth to cover it, to not spit the food out. I don't know what the hell they were talking about. I don't know what they said. I don't know if the content of their words made sense to her, but I know she was laughing, and I know she was okay. Parenting Up, Caregiving Adventures with comedian Jay Smiles is the intense journey of unexpectedly being fully responsible for my mama. For over a decade, I've been chipping away at the unknown, advocating for her, and pushing Alzheimer's awareness on anyone and anything with a heartbeat. Spoiler alert, this shit is heavy. That's why I started doing comedy, so be ready for the jokes. Caregiver newbies, OGs, and village members just willing to prop up a caregiver, you are in the right place.
Hi, this is Zeddy. I hope you enjoy my daughter's podcast. Is that okay?
Today's supporter shout out is from YouTube. Janelle Bowles 8207. We are watching the podcast. Mama laughed out loud when you said squoze with 4 emoji laughing faces. Now that is I remember that episode. That's a part of the Detroit tour. So go watch it if you haven't. Thank you so much, Janelle Bowles 8207. If you want to receive a supporter shout out, you know what to do. Leave a review, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, text me. You know the text community number. You got it. All right. Today's episode, that's what friends are for. Parenting Up family, we about to go back. We about to go way back to a moment that was real tricky for me and Zeddy, okay? It's like February 2012. My dad his body was probably still warm in the grave. You understand what I'm saying? It's like maybe he had been gone about a month, maybe. And my mom was still working. There was no dementia, no Alzheimer's. You know, there was just shock because my dad was dead. Then there is text messages blowing up my phone from a 202 number that I don't recognize. Now, 202 is Washington, D.C. And I went to Howard, and I'll just say, while I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, I became a woman in Washington, D.C. So at first I was like, well, who is this? Right? Maybe somebody, one of my, old bays, found out that my dad died. They trying to get in touch with me, but I didn't care to try to figure out anything, so I didn't answer. So that stopped. Then there are these emails that are coming through to my mom's home email address and her business email address that are bouncing over to her staff. Because right now, at that point, she was trash with answering any of her emails. Okay. So they're like, Janae, these people, this lady is emailing your mom saying she knew her from DC. And I'm thinking, listen, we're still trying to find my daddy's will. I'm trying to figure out if I took my medicine today. I'm trying to make sure I have enough Remy Martin 1738 to make me through the weekend. I don't know who this lady is in DC, so I ignore that. Y'all. Then, okay, Zeddy and Jocko still had the old school answering machine. Click, and you could hear it out loud. I hear on the answering machine, I'm not going to say her last name. This is Betty. And if somebody don't call me back and tell me what's going on with Yvette, I'm coming to Alabama. And I knew that voice. And I knew that person. And I said, oh, shit. I called my mom's office and I say, tell me the name of the lady that's been sending the emails. And then I replayed the voicemail. Well, I shouldn't say voicemail because it really is the old school answer machine. Listen to the callback number. Y'all, why the 202 number I've been ignoring, the lady who been emailing my mom's office, it's this same Betty. It's been stalking my mama and a little bit me and saying, if somebody don't tell me where the hell Yvette is, I'm coming to Alabama. Now that sounds extreme to me. But pause for a second. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have nobody in your life that's willing to go that hard in the paint and keep worrying the shit out of the people that they think can get to you with email, text, leaving a voicemail out loud on the old school answering machine, then you need to check your crew. You need to modify your crew. Turns out this lady, Betty, worked with my mom in the 90s and the 2000s in Washington, D.C. And she heard that my dad died. She'd been calling my mother's cell phone and didn't get a response. And she decided that she'd had enough of not getting a response from my mama. She didn't let it go. Can you imagine how many people would have just said, well, you know what? I bet she is distraught. Her husband died. She's probably busy. They weren't best friends. They didn't go to college together. They didn't grow up together. She wasn't in my mama's wedding. Next thing I know, I'm calling her back. I'm like, hey, Miss Betty. That's how you're supposed to talk to people that's older than you when you're from the South. It's Janae. I don't know if you remember me. Of course I remember you. Now, fast forward a little bit. Well, not fast forward. Fast backwards to the forward. However you want to put it. While I was at Howard in D.C., Betty was one of the people who made sure that my life stayed within legal boundaries. I'll put it like that, right? So my mom had a cast of power brokers looking out for me in DC, and I didn't know it. And Betty was one of those. She was like, girl, I have known about your whole life since you were in middle school. I knew about you before, what you were doing before you could drive a car. I know you're not calling me, asking me, do I remember you? Do you remember me? The level of detail that this lady had on my life when I went to Howard, when I finished, when I went to Stanford, The first time I got my heart broken, she was like, your mama called us and told us about that boy that broke your heart. We were all looking. We were about to kill that nigga. I said, did you say nigga? She said, I did, because he was acting like a nigga, because no black man would treat a girl like you who is perfect like that. Right? This is my mama's work colleague. I want to go a step further. They didn't work together and have like a boss in common. My mom was the consultant. This lady worked for the city of DC. My mom ain't never lived in DC, but that's the kind of bond they formed. So it was that lady, Betty, and two others, all lawyers, black female lawyers, and this black female CPA from Alabama, who some kind of way through the 80s and 90s and early 2000s formed a bond that I guess their spouses and children didn't really understand. Because, I mean, we didn't travel together. We didn't kick it for family reunion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Betty tells me, Janae, I need to talk to your mama. And I'm like, okay. Y'all, Zeddy wouldn't call back. Now, maybe I should have known something then when Zeddy didn't call back. So Betty's calling me, I haven't heard from your mama. I haven't heard from your mama. Now, if I call a spade a cucumber, I'ma think Zeddy was avoiding Betty, because she knew Betty would not let her ass get away with sugarcoating the truth. Betty was gonna hold her feet to the fire on how you doing, how bad was it after Jock, what happened. My mom ain't want to do none of that. She didn't want to have that conversation, so she didn't call her. So then a few months passed. Y'all, next thing, Betty calls my mama's office and goes in so hard on Zeddy's receptionist that the receptionist calls me crying. Is this lady your aunt? She was so ugly to me. She said that if I didn't make sure that your mama called her back or you call her back today, then I better know something, because da 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 da. Who is she? I was like, well, no. I mean, she's not an aunt, but I mean, mind you, no relative fought this hard to find me or Zeddy during this same period of time. So I call her back, and she says, by this time, maybe 4 or 5 months have passed. But we have not had the event that made me take Zeddy to California for all the diagnoses. She said, I gotta see your mama. I don't wanna talk to her no more. I don't wanna talk to you no more. I gotta see her. And I was like, okay, well. She said, and all of us wanna see her. Betty and the other two. These women were still working, running half of the Eastern Seaboard. And she said, you tell me when you can get your mama to DC and I'll get everybody else ready. I was like, I'm sorry, what? She said, you heard me. That's your choice. Your choice is the date. You see, I'm grown. I thought I was grown. I'm in my 40s when this lady calls me with this. But this is how it goes down when people say, have a village, have a crew, it takes a village. The people that you need will show up when you need them. This is an example of that. So I did it. I was like, shit. You know what? Nobody else was asking me to bring my mama to them. Nobody else was creating an environment where they said, we need to see her, love on her, and check on her. And we want to see you. She was like, bring your black ass with her. Don't send her with nobody else. Don't send her with her sister or any of your siblings. I was like, wow, okay. So I booked the Jefferson Hotel, and I'm shouting them out on purpose, the little boutique hotel in Washington, D.C. They took such good care of us. My mom was obviously slower by this point. Everything hadn't fallen apart yet, but she was slower, and I was very protective of her. I'll put it like that. Y'all, I call that they have a very refined dining experience. And I told them, hey, this is what I need. I don't want your limited room service menu. I need to have the full options of your Michelin star rated dining in the lobby for this hotel suite. Well, no, man, we can't. I was like, I know you can't. I know you can't. I know it's against the rules, but let me tell you. So Betty and these two others women are coming to see my mama. And I cannot give them no fucking cheeseburgers and cheesecake. You feel what I'm saying, dude? Now, what do we need to do? Who needs a better tip? Who needs the Google review, the TripAdvisor review to make it be where, do I need to come get it and bring it on the platter to myself? Yo, these people were so nice with it. They gave me the menu. I sent the menu in advance to Zeddy and her DC crew. It's these three ladies that have been holding my mama down for decades professionally. And I didn't know it until they started telling me the stories. My mama never shared all those stories. They ordered their meals in advance. I make sure that we have a suite, not because I'm trying to be high post, because if you really know me, I don't like, anyway, I could be a little tight. I said, I need a seating area and enough of a table for there to be three women where all this food is spread out. Don't you know my mama's DC crew would not let me have a meal with them? They said, we need your mama by ourselves. To that point, my mama had not been without me since my daddy died. I was like, what you mean? They were like, there's some things we need to talk to your mom about and ask her that we would prefer if you weren't there. What? I was like, well, what if I'm in the other room? Just in case she needs me. Or, she gets uncomfortable. Y'all, they gave me that look. Now, if you're not black and you listening or watching this, you probably have at least seen a black movie or a music video or heard about it in an R&B song. They gave me the black mama look. Like, I know so damn well you don't think we don't know how to deal with our girl and that your little young ass can protect her from us, like you even need to. I'm babbling now because I see their faces on me. I'm trying to tell you what I didn't do was push on them any further. Now, the Jefferson Hotel is a very Americana kind of thing. Imagine like a Ritz Carlton, so it's real like 12-pound curtains and tassels and, mahogany carved leg furniture, this kind of thing. And so they bring in all the food, they're putting stuff out, they're plating the food. I was like, damn, y'all, you really did bring the dining experience to this hotel room. Thank you very much. They are staying looking at me like, so when are you leaving? And I'm like, shit, y'all playing about this. I was like, but I didn't order anything. I was just gonna, see if y'all were cool and maybe just go in the other room. They were like, you went to Howard. You pledged Delta up here. We know, and they giving me the shoe fan, y'all. They showed me with their hand. We know you got some people in town. Call somebody. Go get a drink. Go eat. Why don't you take a break? You probably need a break. Take yourself 2 or 3 hours. I was panicking. How can I leave my mom? Like, I know she's cool with these ladies, but I don't know them like that. And mommy has started to show signs of being fragile. And while she recognized them when she saw them, and she was like, oh, hey, so good to see you. She didn't call any of them by name. And she didn't like grab my hand and say, JG, you remember when you were in high school, she sent you your first pair of cowboy boots, which is what Zeddy would remember. So I was monitoring these types or the lack of these types of verbal interactions with my mom. But you ain't about to go against three black mamas on the same page who already have fought with me to love on my mama. So I end up just going downstairs. I called a few of my people in DC and said, you come meet me here. And I said, hey y'all, I'll be downstairs. If you need anything, I'll be back up in about an hour or so. All I know, when I returned to the room, as I'm walking down the corridor to our room. Now, the carpet is like the best Persian rug looking clean, all the nice pastel blues and greens and reds and yellows. And the walls are filled with all kind of chair railing. It's a mess if you got chair railing in the hall because ain't no chair there. What's about to bump up against it and make a mark? Anyway, they're just going for pomp and circumstance. I'm walking down this, feeling like I'm in the White House. All of a sudden, all I hear is, that's not what happened. Y'all, they are kikiing and laughing so hard, I hear them down the hall. I turn the knob to go in the room. My mama is laughing and wiping her mouth with the linen cloth to cover it, to not spit the food out. I don't know what the hell they were talking about. I don't know what they said. I don't know if the content of their words made sense to her, but I know she was laughing and I know she was okay. Her spirit was fed, her stomach was fed, and those women checked the box that they needed of, I'm my sister's keeper. All I had to do was get out of the way. And it wasn't easy at first. It was not easy at first. I don't know exactly what any of you might be thinking or feeling about people who try to come in that might feel like they coming in out of nowhere. Like, I don't really know you. What you want to see with my mama or my husband. We fine, we got it. We're going to, batten down the hatches, put a moat around our life. I'm going to encourage you not to do that, because your loved one had and have friends, church members, co-workers, family members even, that they're closer to you, that they're closer to than you are, that you don't understand all those relationships. To see my mama laughing that hard made me cry, y'all. Now, I ain't cried a snotty cry like somebody just died, but I had to smile and I teared up because I was like, oh shit. I would have ruined this moment and not let it happen, because I'm sure if I had been in the room, whatever conversation path they went down, you know what I mean? I don't know if that would happen. They were probably talking some grown woman stuff or reminiscing over what they did at work. And they did enough that pulled my mom back in. It was just dinner. It was just a moment of dinner in a hotel room in DC. But they forced it. But they forced it out of love. So the last part is, if there's somebody that you've been trying to reach and they not answering or they haven't responded, If you ain't seen them in a while, it doesn't mean that they don't love you or they don't appreciate it or that you can't add value. Keep being pushy. If your intuition is I need to check on this person or love on them, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. Because as I will call them, my mama's DC crew, they came in a moment and put some sunshine in our lives that let me know we weren't alone. Yes, they didn't live in Alabama. No, they're not blood related. But we got people. We got people. And so do you. The snuggle ups. Number 1. Time waits for no one. We hear that all the time. We grew up with it. I don't know how much we lean into it. I know for me, it is wearing me out. Time seems to be running away from me. So why am I bringing it up now? Caregivers. Take photos of your LOs and their moments. Record video. Get an audio even of them talking. Simple things. Walking, reading a magazine, them singing a song. Definitely, if family or friends are visiting, capture that whole moment. Photo, video, whatever. You can make a meme out of it. You can make a GIF. Who cares? But capture it. Because as they decline, it'll be helpful to remember where you started and to know that it hasn't always been this dark and this heavy. That's for you and for family members who aren't around as much, for grandkids and great-grandkids that haven't been born yet. Archive it. Trust me. Number 2, newbies, especially if you're a caregiver newbie. This is Jay Smiles in my capacity as a lawyer giving you authority. Y'all know I'm lying. Anyway, giving you authority to listen to your LO's voicemails, go into their email, go into their DMs on the social media. This is if your LO has some form of dementia and advanced cognitive decline. I think you should probably try to find out, is there someone like my mama's DC crew who slipped through the cracks, right? A meaningful part of their life that you don't know about. Who's trying to get in touch with them. They don't know what the hell happened. Just all of a sudden, their friend, their colleague, their role buddy, their ace is just missing. That's why I'm saying, I don't think it's a break in their privacy under these circumstances. I mean, Zeddy ain't had privacy since she became incontinent. All right? So, anyway, there you have it. Number 3, caregivers. All of y'all. The newbies, the OGs, the people in between. Let your family know who you consider to be your top 3 village members. Because if something happens to you, even if you just have pneumonia for a week and you down, your family doesn't need to be guessing about who to call and who to tell. They trying to remember who you were close to last year. They don't know who the hell you mad with now. They're like, that was her best friend. They travel all the time. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Who I travel with the most is actually not my best friend. Therefore, that would be a whole misnomer. So tell them, caregivers, let them know So if something happens to you or if you down for a minute, they're not also having to guess something that meaningful. Because usually your village also knows the secondary and tertiary village members, and they can just get the word out much faster than your family trying to break the code on your social media. Thank you for tuning in. I mean, really, 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 thank you so very much for tuning in. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening on your favorite podcast audio platform. Either way, wherever you are, subscribe. Come back. That's the way you're gonna know when we do something next. Y'all know how it is. I'm Jay Smiles. I might just drop something hot in the middle of the night.